Have you ever felt like you're just talking to a brick wall? Like you're missing a key piece of the puzzle in a conversation? Well, today we're going to unpack that exact frustration. And what we're going to find is that real communication, the good stuff, it's not really about personality, it's all about creating a feeling of safety.
Girls are hard to understand. Come on, does that sound familiar? It's a thought that pops up all the time, right? That feeling of confusion when you just know there's a gap you can't seem to cross. Or how about this one? Girls hide their feelings. You can almost sense this whole world of thoughts and emotions bubbling just under the surface, but it feels completely locked away, totally inaccessible.
And of course, the classic. Girls say one thing and mean another. It feels like you need some kind of secret decoder ring just to figure out what's going on. Look, these frustrations are super common, but what if I told you they're not about men being from Mars or women from Venus? What if all of it, every single one, is rooted in one big misunderstanding? That brings us right here to what we're calling the myth of the quiet girl. We're about to tear down this idea that some people are just naturally, quiet or closed off. So here it is, the big idea that kind of flips everything upside down. What if the difference between someone who's quiet and someone who's an open book has nothing to do with their personality? What if the real reason is how emotionally safe they feel with you right in that moment? This slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? Think about it. The same person who's super quiet and kind of guarded with a stranger or in a new group can be the one who talks nonstop with her best friends. The person didn't change. The environment changed. The level of safety changed absolutely everything. Okay, so that raises a huge question, right? What exactly is this emotional safety thing we're talking about? Let's dive into that in our next section and really define it. Here's what it boils down to. Emotional safety is basically the freedom to be completely 100% yourself, your messy, uncertain, totally authentic self, without being afraid that you're going to get judged or made fun of or have your feelings just dismissed. It's a space where you're accepted, period. Let's break this down even more, because these components are absolutely crucial. Safety means you're not being judged. It means your feelings won't be brushed aside as silly. And maybe the most important one, it means that something you share when you're feeling vulnerable won't be stockpiled and used against you in a fight later on. Now this is such a critical idea to get. When you run into silence, don't automatically think it means there's nothing to say. Way more often than not, that silence is a defense mechanism. It's a shield that goes up the second an environment starts to feel unsafe. So this leads us to the really powerful part, the effect this feeling of safety has. Let's take a look at how speech literally transforms when that shield can finally come down. The difference is just staggering, really. When it feels unsafe, the question in your head is always, okay, what's the safest thing I can say right now? But in a safe space, that question completely changes. It becomes, what's the truthest thing I can say? And that tiny shift from should to truth, well, it changes everything. Okay, so if building safety is the goal, we have to talk about how we accidentally destroy it. This next part is so important. We're going to look at what we call the communication killers. These are the specific things, often totally unintentional, that can just slam the door shut on an open conversation. Let's look at these killers up close. Laughing when she says something serious, telling her it's not a big deal, or just, visibly zoning out while she's talking. Each one of those is like a little paper cut to trust. But that last one, saving up her past mistakes to bring them up later, that's not a paper cut. That's a dagger. It is a massive, massive breach of trust. And here's why those actions are so damaging. You have to remember, every single time someone opens up, they're taking a risk. They're handing you a little piece of their inner world. If that risk gets punished, even if you don't mean to, their brain learns a very simple lesson. Being vulnerable is dangerous, so stop doing it. All right, let's talk about a trap that so many of us fall into, usually with the absolute best of intentions. This is the big battle, listening versus solving. When someone we care about is struggling, our first instinct is to grab our toolbox, right? We want to analyze the problem, give them advice, and fix it. But look, a lot of the time, what's actually needed isn't a solution. It's a space to be heard, to have their feelings validated, and to just know that they're not alone in whatever they're going through. This really says it all, doesn't it?
Your job isn't to be the hero who swoops in with the answer. Your job is to be the safe space where she can find her own.
So, what happens when you start getting this right consistently? What's the payoff? Let's talk about the reward of building that trust, bit by bit, over time.
See, trust isn't something that just happens, it's a construction project. And it happens in this exact cycle. Step 1, she takes a risk and shares something real. That's the first brick. Step 2, you listen, really listen, without judgment. That's the mortar. Step 3, you prove her words are safe with you. You repeat this over and over and over again. And you're not just laying bricks anymore. You're building a fortress of safety.
And this is the ultimate reward. When that home of safety is finally built, communication isn't a chore anymore. You're not going to have to pry or pull words out of her. She will just share. Because talking to you will feel like coming home. So let's go all the way back to where we started. The idea that girls are hard to understand. It's not really the issue, is it? The real issue is a lack of safety. So the question isn't about how to decode someone else. The real question is for you. Are you building a safe space?